all around us. The trees here are in misery and the birds are in misery. I don't think they sing, they just screech in pain.
I remember the first time I watched the movie Requiem for a Dream, a movie so shockingly powerful that it disturbed me to my core, yet allowed me to experience emotions few pieces of fictions had been able to make me feel. Its message has left an imprint on me that remains to this day and continues to be one of those films I'm glad I experienced but never wanted to watch again. I said exactly the same thing to myself after watching Takopi's Original Sin. This is one of those shows that leaves you completely drained, giving you the sinking feeling that drops down to the pit of your stomach at the end of every episode. Genre? Drama? No, this is a straight-up horror anime for your emotions. It's about an alien, Takopi, from the planet Happy. All he wants to do is spread smiles and happiness without a single shred of negativity. He's the type of guy who'd hear about a racism problem and try to solve it by running. Now pair him with the Trauma Trio, 3 kids whose collective future therapist bill would equal the GDP of Norway. That's right.
Hey, little buddy, how are you doing?
Oh my god!
Whoa, whoa,
Oh my
whoa,
god.
whoa, whoa,
Oh my god.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's Japanese Smiling Friends. This is a series that wastes no time into throwing you into the absolute deep end of emotional trauma and letting you sink further from there. Watching the first episode of Takopi is like... And then the series just continues pounding your emotions into the ground. It presents you with some of the heaviest subjects a child can go through with no filters to help avert your eyes. If I had a nickel for every time one of these kids got whipped by a belt, I'd have 0 nickels. Because their parents used the fist. Everyone is an asshole. Everyone is the worst kind of human they can possibly be. Then when you're shown that faint ray of sunlight at the end of the tunnel, your first instinct is to think, oh no. But that's not to say there is no point to all of this suffering. For how despicable some of these actions you witness are, it constantly reminds you that the biggest villains are the parents who failed them. Parental neglect, physical abuse, and worst of all, a law-accurate Asian mum. Each kid is a product of their own toxic environment, and for how suffocatingly pessimistic this show can be, it never devolves into being downright cynical. It's an important reminder of how trauma can be passed on, how the worst environments can shape the worst people, and no matter how hard life can be, nothing is more suffocating than having to deal with it alone. Because in the end, aren't the friends we made, the trauma bonding we did along the way? Wait, is that how it goes?
I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause. He's obviously made up his mind. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?